Hey everyone, James Bedell from Build2Sustain. I wanted to thank Rich Cartledge for giving me the opportunity to post on his blog, Green Building and Enviro Trends. Rich and I met on Twitter recently, and he and I had become writers for Constructor.com, Vic Dougal's internet property on the design and build community. And he asked me to post on his blog about what Build2Sustain is and where it's going and what it's going to be in the future. And so here I am. Build2Sustain is out to address one very specific issue, and that is commercial renovation here in the United States. It is estimated by most factors that the buildings we live and work in consume 50% of the energy and carbon that this country consumes in a given year. It's basically our commercial building space. It consumes as much energy and expels as much carbon as all of the cars on the road. And so it is a major problem for the 21st century to figure out how to reduce the carbon footprint of these buildings in a rapid but sustainable way. So we have sustainable buildings for the future. We have so much existing building stock that tearing it down and replacing it with new buildings is, first of all, unfeasible, and second of all, wouldn't do any good for the environment. It is believed that somewhere in the ballpark of 50% of the carbon footprint of a building happens in its construction. And therefore, it is important that with these renovated spaces, we do everything we can to improve the existing building without having to tear it down and put up something new. And so renovation is a big key. The problem with the renovation space and with as we see it is that it is easy. There are a lot of designers, a lot of builders out there that that are pitching green, pitching sustainability, but it's hard. The barrier to acceptance for facilities managers and property owners is return on investment. We can't, as an industry, pitch a building owner or a facilities manager on a $500,000 renovation and then not be able to demonstrate ROI, not be able to demonstrate, well, sure, in 6 months you'll get this much back, in a year it's this much, in 2 years it's this much, and in 10 years you'll have made back your investment tenfold. We don't have that kind of data, we don't have that kind of real building practices established, and that's what Build2Sustain is out to do. So how are we going to do it? There are a few things that we're going to do and try to do them all simultaneously. One is by finding some of the best talented people in the industry that want to get aboard and demonstrate their entire process from the first stroke of their pen down to occupancy and training of the building occupants. How are we going to make this the most sustainable office space we possibly can? We're going to see this from architects, HVAC consultants, lighting consultants, materials providers, plumbing, energy auditors, landscape architects if it's appropriate. All of these professionals are going to document their process in blog posts and utilizing social media tools like Facebook, like Twitter, the tools that we know and we're a part of. And it's all going to filter down into the Build2Sustain website. This is going to create an enormous opportunity for the professionals involved in Build2Sustain because they are going to become thought leaders in this space by demonstrating every problem that they have to solve, how they solve it, and where the positives are and where the shortcomings are in what products we can provide to our clients. In addition to all of this social media, Build2Sustain is going to go out and document the process from day one using using professional video technology and production, so that you get a series of featurettes that will be hosted on the website, be aggregated into either a final DVD or as a package of intellectual property, probably coupled with a white paper, that becomes something that the industry can utilize widely to improve the practices of other professionals. The goal is to not only establish best practices for the industry, but establish a new way to manage production and manage a project from day one till final inception. It's not enough to simply explain what you did. consumers today, building occupants today, want to know every single aspect of the spaces that they, we see it in their supermarket spaces, we see it in how people shop, and how they live. They want to know more about the products they're buying and the things they're consuming. Buildings are no different. And if we can explain not just to our industry, but to the public at large, how to improve buildings and how we're improving buildings so that they're more healthy, more productive, and more sustainable, we're going to build a better generation of buildings for a generation of creative professionals that want that in their spaces. So what are we looking for right now? What we're looking for are the professionals. We're looking for the renovators. I have a list on my whiteboard here. Architects, lighting consultants, AV consultants, materials experts, interior designers, energy auditors, HVAC consultants, training pros, landscape architects, plumbing and water preservation professionals. The list goes on and on. Folks that we want to come aboard to lend their expertise, open up their practice to not only observation, but maybe scrutiny, and show how great a renovation can be, how great a building can be after some really, really intense thought goes into it and final process. Some of the other things we're looking for, and I don't want this post to go on forever, so I'm not going to go into as much detail, but we are going to be looking for sponsorship. We want to partner with some of the best manufacturers, folks that make products that make buildings more sustainable, and we want to showcase them. We don't, while the design professionals are extremely important, and Build2Sustain is a huge supporter of design professionals, we think architects, consultants across the different disciplines are essential to making good buildings. We also recognize that without the products that go into them, without the best choices available to them, we can't get better. And so we're looking for sponsors, and more than sponsors, they're partners. They're companies that are building products that make buildings better. And those products we want to showcase, and we want to make part of this larger living space and this larger breathing office space. And we want to document that as meticulously as we do the design process, from selection to factory tours to final installation. So we're going to go through that, and so that's one thing we're looking for. And you'll hear more. There are going to be some announcements about core team members in the coming month, folks that are going to come aboard as the core Build2Sustain team. And soon enough, we're going to be announcing our project. So we're going to have links below all this, right below my head, right here. There should be some, there'll be links to the Build2Sustain site, my contact information. You want to get in touch with us and talk about what Build2Sustain is and how you might want to be involved, shoot us an email, post a comment on the blog. We've got a blog on our website, and we'll be thrilled to talk more about it. Thanks so much. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and that's that. Talk to you soon.